We at Citrus Comedy give a warm welcome to MangaPlaza and thank them for sponsoring us and giving us a lovely panel to let us know some stuff that's coming up.
Woo. Very
Woo!
excited to share with everyone.
Yeah, super excited. Well, shall we get started?
Let's. Yeah, thanks again for coming, everyone. This is the MangaPlaza Industry Panel, and we are very excited to be here to share some recommendations with you, talk a bit about our localization process. My name's Olivier. We'll give like a little more of an introduction soon, but for now, yeah, my name's Olivier. I've been to CitrusCon personally before, but this is my first time coming with MangaPlaza, and it's great to be here.
And I'm Tenchi. This is my first time joining CitrusCon, like as a presenter and just as a watcher. So I'm really, really excited to be here. So let's get started. Yay! We'll get started with our introductions. So, as I said before, I am Tenchi. I've been in Japan for 7 years. I'm a translator and I do the BL staff recommendations. And for those unfamiliar, those are staff recs that give a summary of our popular BL titles, and you can find them at the bottom of our homepage. And a little fun fact about me, I'm a cat lover, and my first anime, well, non-Shonen Jump anime, was Lucky Star.
Amazing taste.
Thank you.
And I am Olivier. I've been in Japan for 10 years. I'm also a translator, and I do the BL SNS, the social media. So basically our Twitter account, X account, I suppose. If you see me, see the replies there, that's me. And I'm also a cat lover. My first anime, which is a Shonen Jump anime, was Yu-Gi-Oh! And kind of fanfic for Yu-Gi-Oh! Was my gateway into boys' love way back when.
What an excellent way to get in.
It was pretty peak.
Awesome. All right. Now that you know a little bit about us, we're going to tell you about MangaPlaza. So our slogan is Your Manga Journey Starts Online, and we launched March 1st, 2022. So as of today here in Japan, it's our 4th anniversary. Woo! So you can register for free. We have 160K chapters, and if you're premium, we have over 30K chapters plus a point purchase bonus. And if you're interested in signing up, we have a 7-day free trial. And we have tons of original manga. So if you see MangaPlaza Originals, those are works that we've published and translated. And if you see hashtag on only on MangaPlaza, those are works from other publishers, but we've translated them.
And thanks for all the anniversary wishes, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
The chat is popping off.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that is a little bit about us and our service. But just real quickly, you're probably wondering the big important question, how to actually get the goods. So I'll give a quick little rundown of how to, unlock and start reading manga on our site. So first, once you've got your account, you're going to need points to start unlocking things. So click on that big shiny gold point icon in the top right. And that will take you, here we go, to our point purchase page. You can choose a payment method and then choose your point bundle. Goes all the way up to 20,000 points if you're a real big spender. And you might notice the red text underneath each bundle. That is the point purchase bonus Tenchi mentioned for our premium members. So just a little bit of extra in every bundle you purchase as a membership benefit. But yeah, once you know what bundle you want, just click purchase, and then a pop-up will come along to take you through the rest of the steps to buy your points. And once you have your points, we get to the fun part. You can browse our homepage or search by genre, or if you already know a title, like for instance, you found one you really liked in our recommendations later, you can type that into the search bar and it'll pull it right up. So then you just click on the title or the cover, and that'll take you to the details page. On the details page, you're going to get more info about the manga, the summary, the author, the publisher, fun stuff like that, as well as a list of all of the available chapters, or in some cases volumes, because we do have some manga that are available by volume. So generally, as with this one, the first chapter is going to be available for free for everyone to read, just as a kind of little sample preview. For titles that are available by volume, it'll usually be a portion of that first volume as a sample. We also, you may notice the Read Now with Premium buttons. So that is the kind of 30,000 chapters benefit that Tenji mentioned earlier. Basically, our premium members get those 30,000 chapters across the site kind of bundled in. So how many chapters are available depend on which manga. Some you can read the whole thing free with premium, others, maybe half, maybe a third. It's a good way to sample a bunch of our different manga selections at a savings. But to unlock it and get the chapter in your library, you're just going to hit Add to Cart. It'll turn gray, become a View Cart button, and then you click it again to jump to your cart and do the final steps for checkout. If you know for sure that you want the whole thing, we do have an Add All to Cart button at the bottom of this details page list, so you can just get them all at once. And once you're in the reader, if you just want to keep smoothly continuing to read, we do have Unlock Now at the end of the chapter, so you can get that next chapter without having to leave the reader and go to another page. But yeah, that is how to get the goods. So just one last little shout out for our homepage to give you the kind of layout for it. We've got genre tabs at the top if you want to browse by genre, and then we've got that big banner section. It's always going to be telling you about coupons and point rewards and free to read bonuses and all kinds of fun stuff that we might have going on. We've also got buttons for new releases and updates, bestsellers, and what's available free at the moment. If you scroll down a bit, there will be little sections showing off some of our favorite manga as well by category and such. And yeah, that's our site. But you are here specifically for BL. We do have a lot of different genres, but if you want to know all of the good boys love stuff, Tenji will tell you where to get it.
I sure will. Here we have our BL vlogs, x.com/MangaPlazaBL, where we talk all things BL, of course, and you guys can chat and just, hit us up with some questions, or, you can chat amongst yourselves about your favorite BL. And if you hit this link here, it'll take you to our BL homepage, so mangaplaza.com/boyslove. And as I mentioned before, our staff recommendations are at the bottom of the page. And if you're already on the site, you can just click on the BL tag right here, and it'll take you to our page. And if you have any questions or recommendations, you can send those to us at mangaplaza.com/inquiry. Just give us your email address and the topic, and just let us know what you want to talk about. If there's like a BL you like and you want us to translate it, we'll send it to our higher ups and try and get it translated to the best of our ability. Or you can just say hi. That works too. Please talk to us. And you can also tag us on X for your questions and recommendations.
Yes. No. Please say hi. Let us know your thoughts. We always want to hear please.
Oh, wee. Thank you. And now that we got the businessy chat out the way, we'll start with our recommendations. So here are mine. My first one is Lullaby of the Dawn. Beautiful art, immersive fantasy, and tender. If I had to pick 3 phrases, it would be this. So basically, we have Elva, who is a Kanagi. This is Elva right here. And his destiny is to fight against the dark seas of the night to protect the people of the island. And when Alto, dark-haired guy right here, when he learns of Elva's cruel living conditions and what he goes through to protect their people, he vows to stay by his side. Ever since Alto came into Elva's life, the curse he has from fighting is slowly fading away. And you're like, oh my god, what curse? Why is it fading? What's going on? well, you'll just have to read. I'm sorry. But I did this one as a staff recommendation first, and then I could not put it down. Like the world building and the art just like sucked me in. I just wanted to read chapter after chapter after chapter. Yes, this one is so peak. Like, if you haven't read it, please, please, please read Lullaby of the Dawn. It is so good. And my next one is The Flavor of Melon. I saw some people talking about it in the chat. This one is melancholy, no pun intended, and real. So we have Nakajo and Kyuchi. This is Nakajo and Kyuchi's the guy on the cover. They end up living together, and Nakajo tells Kyuchi that he's gay, and Kyuchi like could not care less. He's like, okay, and. So basically from there, Nakajo gradually starts to find comfort in living with Kyuchi, but Kyuchi has a secret of his own. And this one is only on MangaPlaza, so gotta come to our site to read it. And this one, yeah, I felt like their relationship was like something that could happen in real life. It was just a very smooth read. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, this one, and it left a really good impression on me. So yeah, definitely check out this one. And my honorable mentions, this one is An Impossible Marriage. So we have a babyface office worker and a handsome college student get roped into a marriage. And please check out Makoto Itsuki's other works as well. They're really good at drawing hot men. So yeah, what more could you want? But yeah, this one is a really good story. My other honorable mention is A Demon's Underling. So our lewd acts should have no meaning. Our relationship is a master-servant one. But why does my heart ache so much? It's short, steamy, and sweet, and it's translated by me. Yay! And you're probably thinking, Tenshi, why did you put one of your translated works as an honorable mention? Well, it will be honorably mentioned throughout this whole presentation, so I want to give other titles a chance. But yeah, please check this one out as well. And I wanted to share a series. So this is the Wolf's Bride series by Kana Ryuma. It's sweet, tender love in a far off fantasy land. Yeah, the outfits are really gorgeous and beautifully drawn. Each book has like a different couple, and some of the couples like overlap, like they know each other. Yeah, again, world building is really excellent. So I definitely recommend the Wolf's Bride series as well. And next up is Satoshi Ryu's recommendations, and you're like, who is that? Well, Satoshi is one of our coworkers, but sadly he could not make it today, but he still wanted to share some of his favorite BLs. So he has The Prince Turned Idol and The Knight Who Stands Him, also translated by him. This one is a reverse isekai, and it's cute, awkward, and funny. So when Takao catches a glimpse on the screen of Hikaru, a member of the boy band Duma, the memories come flooding back. Hikaru is the reincarnation of the prince Takao pledged himself to and whom he was unable to protect. As if to atone for his failure, he vows to serve Hikaru in the present. How? Well, as Duma's manager, of course. That way he can watch over Hikaru closely. But when the untouchably cool idol singer offers him a rare smile, Takao realizes that the feelings he bears for him may extend beyond fealty. So yeah, I feel like reverse isekais are kind of rare. It's always like regular people go to fantasy, but now it's fantasy people go to regular. I think that's like really cool. So please check this one out. And his honorable mentions, we have A Marriage of Kings. By God's divine decree, childhood friends Kamui and Rahid are to be wed to ensure the prosperity of both nations. Two kings in matrimony. But who's betting whom? Humor and smexy scenes galore. That one looks interesting as well. And we have Kanae Sakura Has His Secrets. So Ayakashi in Secret Crushes. And we have Daddies in Yukata. So older men, great. So Kanae Sakura lives with his university folklore studies professor, Tsubaki. In exchange for free room and board, he helps out at the bar that Tsubaki runs. A bar that caters only to supernatural spirits. So spooky and sexy. What more could you want? And up next, Olivier, take it away.
All right, my turn. Sorry, I'm watching the chat. We've got lots of excitement going on. I think there's a Kanae Sakura fan in here already.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah, we love supernatural spirits and daddies in yukata. Oh, I really need to read that one. My first recommendation is Can't Help Myself Around You, which is one that I translated myself. It's like 12, 13 chapters, something like that. Don't quote me on the exact number. And yeah, one of my all-time faves. Oh yes, the loosening the tie. We love a man in glasses getting unwound.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a very sweet, very awkward, kind of slow burn style story, and it's a good mix of plot with some silly comedy and a lot of nice, just absolutely chef's kiss spicy scenes. Yeah, so to give you the premise, kind of the scruffy guy here with the little beard at the bottom, Shishio, has just become a boys' love editor at a magazine, but he has never read BL before. He doesn't know what the appeal is all about. He's not sure how to find an artist, what to look for. So he basically just flips through some sample comics and finds one who's really, really good at drawing the D, basically. And yeah, and he's like, well, I'll sign her. And they set up a meeting, and it turns out, to his surprise, oh my goodness, it's a man. The artist is a guy. They exist too. And after signing the artist, the sexy man in glasses, Satoru, Satoru needs some help getting reference shots for his scenes. He needs to work on his anatomy. So he asks for Shishio's help with modeling, and they end up at a love hotel, kind of climbing all over each other to take photographs half naked for the sake of work. Yeah, for research.
For science.
So it's there. Yeah, a very very silly kind of horny setup. And it's really funny watching them kind of tangle themselves up together and also do the mental gymnastics of like, this is totally not gay, it's totally not gay, I swear. Especially since Satoru is so unaffected and Shishio is so flustered. But as it develops from there and people start catching feelings and angst starts coming out, that's where this one really, really shines. So I won't go into details, don't want to spoil it for you, but give this a shot if you like men coming to terms with their emotions. Yeah, so my next recommendation is Cinderella Complex. This one is a bit longer. I think it's about 31 chapters, and very, very good. Gorgeous art, like very elegant, soft, like understated. Love looking at it. It starts out with a mistaken identity kind of trope, and then it kind of develops into this modern Cinderella story, but with a bit of a twist. It honestly reminds me more of the like reforming the rake Regency romance type of stuff than a traditional Cinderella story, but it has those fairy tale elements a little bit still. Yeah, so basically Tomoki, our other guy in glasses, you may be noticing a theme, has no experience dating, but he has been talking with this guy on a social media app and just fallen for him, this guy Michiru. And then he happens to run into him in the street and works up all his courage and asks him out on a date. But it turns out that is not Michiru. So basically, the guy he'd been talking to had a photo of both himself and his friend. He'd pulled the old, I'll have both of us in the picture and no one will know who's who. They'll think I'm my totally hotter friend. And it worked. So Tomoki actually runs into the friend, Naozumi, who is a really great person with a super good moral compass, and decides he's going to pretend to be Michiru to basically prank this random stranger. And yeah, so it starts off with that, and the mild spoilers, but the mistaken identity is resolved relatively quickly. Tomoki catches on, and they have to decide where to go from there. And what I love about it, aside from the art style and the kind of fairy tale backdrop, is that both of these characters have like really realistic flaws. So they feel very down to earth and very human. And you just get to see them kind of negotiating this situation and this kind of slow romance. Yeah. Okay. Next one. This one is one of our MangaPlaza originals, and also a very spicy one. My Personal Weatherman. So it's got some domestic fluff. It's also got some angst, miscommunication trope, all based around just like people not knowing how to use their words or express their feelings or even admit to themselves what their feelings are. So that's always my favorite variety of the miscommunication trope. And it has a live action drama adaptation as well. So check that out if you're interested. But yeah, the guy with darker hair here, Yo, is trying to be an erotic comic artist. He wants to be, the best there ever was, but it is not going well at all. He can't sell anything. In the meantime, he's been living rent-free in lighter-haired guy Mizuki's apartment in exchange for doing his bidding, basically. Like he cooks, he cleans, he, services Mizuki in bed. And he's really starting to resent this situation. He's like, oh, this is so annoying. I hate living here. I hate Mizuki and his stupid face and his stupid rock hard abs and so he's as you might be able to tell, he's a bit of a tsundere, and his frustration might not be coming from exactly where he thinks it is. And you'll have to read to see how they sort that all out. And one last thing, this one was complete at one point, but it's got a new arc started now, so it's coming out with fresh chapters, and you can see it as it updates and watch the fun continue. All right, and then a few honorable mentions from me as well. I'll try to go through these quickly. So first, Blessings to the Outcasts. This one is high fantasy, absolutely stunning, gorgeous artwork. Lots of magic, lots of shape-shifting. I think there's time travel. But the basic premise is a man is sacrificed to a dragon god, and eventually, they kind of form a relationship, and slowly they learn how to love. And it's very sweet and poignant and horny. And then we've got Principles, which is a rowdy construction worker meets a cool-headed architect, and they really butt heads and kind of have to navigate that as they are, being sort of like friends with benefits kind of deal. And then on the right, we've got My Boyfriend's Too Pure for His Own Good, which is a really cute, like, childhood friends who are now college roommates. And they've just become a couple, but one of them is so shy, he gets too flustered to ever, go past kissing. And it's just very wholesome green flag couple. It's roommates trope, and it's adorable, silly fun. And let's see, one last honorable mention from me is actually an author. I want to recommend Our Titles by Kaneko Nakagawa, who is definitely a favorite author of mine. On the left, Brotherhood Failed Successfully, and then in the middle here, Egotists in Glass Houses, sorry, are only on MangaPlaza titles. And then the other two, A Virile World and Strictly Physical, we also have, and they're available by volume. But just across the board, Kaneko Nakagawa does really amazing, like, sensual artwork, the kind of stuff I wish I could have as a pinup on my wall. And their stories are always full of really wacky, silly hijinks, kind of slapstick humor type stuff, but also just beautifully done mutual pining. A lot of like, I have feelings, but does he have feelings? Or wait, I had feelings this whole time. Why did no one tell me? Kind of fun, stuff like that. So definitely give that a look. Yeah, and those were my recommendations. And I also want to give a shout out. I know this is all about the boys love convention, but just some kind of related, not boys love, but still LGBT type stories. We have lots of fun things like that on our site as well. So I wanted to shout out a couple of our favorites of those types. So this one is Me, My Husband, and My Husband's Boyfriend. This one is a ride. I think it's got over 100 chapters at this point. It is very dramatic, very emotional, very full of twists and turns and shock and gasping and stuff like that. But to give you a taste of the premise. So Misaki Nakamichi has been concerned about her marriage due to a lack of intimacy. And as she continues to question her husband's sexual desire for her, their next anniversary arrives, along with a shocking confession. And as you might guess from the pictures here, the confession is that he has been having a secret relationship with another man. But then it turns out that that other man is interested in her as well. And so are they going to be like a throuple? What's going to happen? You know, you'll have to read and find out. This one will not disappoint. If you're looking for something a little bit less dramatic and a little bit more soft and soothing, we do have two other LGBT mentions. So Colorless Girl on the left here is a trans art student and her peers exploring identity and sexuality in their college years. It does deal with some sort of heavier, you know, realistic topics about the LGBT experience and like being trans in Japan, which is not always fun, but it keeps the general tone like very light and very, you know, supportive and about the power of friendship and, you know, believing in yourself. So good for kind of soft, comforting reading. And then on the right is even more heartwarming and comforting and soft. Haru and Ao's Lunchbox, which is not technically about the LGBT experience. It's actually just about making bento boxes for your roommate. But it does have some really good non-binary representation, so I wanted to give it a shout out. It's basically about Haru, the girl on the right, who is kind of an otaku girl, and then Ao, a non-binary nurse. They end up becoming roommates and decide to trade lunches back and forth, and it just kind of is the very slice of life story of their lunch boxes and their daily lives and their friendship developing. Super wholesome, absolutely love it. It is complete. I wish it would go on forever. I could read it until the end of time. Yeah. And that was the LGBT mentions. So, Tenji.
Yes. And onto our bestsellers. So we have Tried Staying in Command, My Toy is Connected to My Best Friend, Hands Off My Sub, and The Overflowing Love of a Transparent Alpha. I did a staff recommendation for My Toy is Connected to My Best Friend. As the title says, there is a toy and a magic on a home that is connected to a certain best friend. And, oh man, I see why this one is a bestseller. I will say that.
Yeah. The bestseller list kind of writes itself. Yeah, for the others, as well. So the Tried Saying Command is a Dom sub first title, and it's two Doms kind of dating each other. Then Hands Off My Sub is another Dom sub verse, and it has that kind of like, oh, I had a hookup with a guy and now he's my coworker. Crap. Kind of setup. And as well as they both work in a host club. So you get to have the hosts and the Dom sub verse. And then the Overflowing Love of a Transparent Alpha is, as you might guess, an Omega verse. Very wholesome, very sweet and loving. And it's kind of about this alpha trying to resist his urges until he meets a certain Omega who may, you know, prevent him from resisting anything.
But yeah, please check those out. They're bestsellers for a reason. Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, definitely won't. Please check those all out.
Okay, we got our recommendations done. Now we'll tell you how we do our job and what we do every day. Yay! So our first example is from a demon's underling. I told you it would show up again. So we have to remember for localization and translation, everything is not one-to-one. We do not translate manuals. These are literary works, as you all know, of course. So we have to get the nuances correct. So here we have a scene where Chiaki is freaking out and he explodes. So basically, how will we translate that? And we can't forget the sound effects as well. So this bubble here is just a bunch of nonsense. I mean, there's like random shapes in here, and the kanji also does not make any sense. So keeping that in mind, what did I do? Of course, this one was just Chiaki. His name is Chiaki, and I keyboard smashed. And how many people can say they got to keyboard smash at work and it be like a good thing? So it was really fun to do that. And of course, for the sound effects here, the bogon, I translate it as kablam because he's exploding. So yeah. All right, I have a question for you guys. It's time to learn. We have a number 10,000 plus. What could this number be related to Japanese?
We've got kanji,
Kanji, moji, symbols of kanji.
Oh God,
okay.
ways.
BL published. Okay, okay. Manga titles. Ichiman.
That's true. That is
Words.
how you say that.
Yep. A pun. Ooh, cream. Excellent. Yeah. And I saw someone else say it. It went by really quick. Alice. Nice. Yeah. So it is Japanese onomatopoeia. They're over 10,000. Yeah. It's over 9,000. Yeah. So we have to translate a ton of sound effects. So how do we do that? I gave you one example in the previous one, but here are some more. So again, another scene from A Demon's Underling. We have to think about what's going on in the scene, and direct translations are basically a no-go. So I want to specifically point out this one here, the kari kari, which literally means to scratch. But in this case, if I put scratch, that would not fit the scene. This is supposed to be tender and loving. I mean, of course, maybe in other sex scenes, it could be scratch, but in this case, it is not. So what I did was I said flick because the most common like other meaning for this would be like to flick a nipple. And then for the other ones, they're kissing and jolt because he's feeling the passion from the kiss. So yeah, we just have to remember we can't be literal. And index, we kind of have an index, but I'll answer that. I'll go back over that later in the presentation. Here's another one. The sound effects is don. This is from Ready Yet You Chicken. He's in a nightclub, so the bass is booming, so it's just like don, 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 don. Another question for you guys. How would you translate this? There are many correct answers, so I'm curious as to what you guys think. Ooh, okay, we have uns and then tum tum. Boom shakalaka. I see we have dun dun. Okay, okay. Boom. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, basically, yeah, this one was translated as bits, bits, bits. But I've also personally used unts in another manga as well. So yeah, as long as you get the point across that it's like bass booming. So yeah, basically, like I said before, multiple correct answers. So yeah, you guys are all right. Which brings me to a Japanese expression. We have yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Repeat after me. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Good! So the most common meaning is I look forward to working with you, but it can also mean nice to meet you, or please treat me well, or thank you for helping, and many, many more. So this one is one of those phrases where as long as you get like the core meaning across, like honestly, anything goes. So another example from A Demon's Underling. Toma here is joining the company, so he says yoroshiku onegai itashimasu, which is just the polite form of yoroshiku onegai shimasu, so it's same meaning. Yeah, otsukare is also my enemy too. But yeah, here I had him say, I'm looking forward to working with you all. So I mean, he's addressing everyone, so I just added you all at the end, but this is more of the common usage. But we also have
Yes, so this is from Can't Help Myself Around You. The scene where they're deciding whether or not Satoru is going to sign to draw for that magazine. And, he says the same thing, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu, but it's more of a, negotiation and less of a first day at work situation. So I wanted to kind of match that kind of scene, and also with his like slamming his hands on the table, very energized vibe. I thought I would go with something kind of comedic, I guess. So in this instance, I ended up translating it as, where do I sign?
So yeah, at the end of the day, where do I sign equals I'm happy to work with you equals yoroshiku onegai shimasu. So as long as we can trace it back to the source, we're okay. So yeah, you can be kind of liberal with phrases like that.
Yeah, Mugi, it can also be like, I'll be in your care. It can mean a lot of things. Literally,
Yeah.
it's just, please be kind, more or less. So it depends on the situation, what exactly that entails. Yeah, okay, so more examples for our localization stuff. This is from Satoshi's title, Satoshi's translation, Prince Turned Idol and The Knight Who Stands Him. And just kind of like fitting the phrasing to the character speech pattern and kind of the tone of the scene and the story. So in this instance, the literal translation would have been, as appropriate for a loyal dog, I won't leave your side. But to make it fit the character and the scene a bit more, some of the localization points were changing to fit the speech pattern. So Satoshi went with I vow, and then to make it really intense, he took the contraction away of won't and said will never. And it ends up being, this very big declaration, I vow in the name of all loyal pups that ever existed to never, ever leave your side. So sometimes, rather than translating the words exactly, it's more about translating the feelings behind the scene, as long as the meaning stays the same.
And he also had this example where there was like an idol fan sign, and the literal translation was shoot me or bang me, but that's not the meaning that was supposed to get across. And to avoid misinterpretation and to work in the handgun, he went with pierce my heart, so like with your arrow. So yeah, if we were to keep it as is, that would kind of, just completely twist the meaning. So we have to make sure that we get the correct meaning across.
And then this one as well. So this is kind of the scene where he first sees the idol after his reincarnation and kind of falls in love as a fan. And we really wanted to get that big emotional hit. So in the Japanese, originally it's this character, which is just like one big dramatic character. It's Toto or Totoi, literally meaning precious. And it's used a lot in like idol or anime fandom here in Japan. But the word precious doesn't quite have that same connotation in English-speaking fandom. So to get across the emotion a bit, what Satoshi ended up going with was touched by an angel. And so it's a bit longer, but it still fits in that space and really punches you in the gut with the stan feelings. All right, so I'll run through a few more things. So this one is from Cinderella Complex, and it's a fun example of how sometimes we have to translate English like loan words basically into different English, because the nuance of how it's used in Japanese isn't the nuance of how it originally would be in English, or it just doesn't quite fit the needs of the scene. So in this instance, the Japanese literally is fuck buddy. And basically Naozumi is inviting Tomoki to be like friends with benefits, very casual, no strings attached, no emotions, all of that stuff. But in a later scene, Tomoki is talking to his friend, trying to figure out what exactly this phrase means that Naozumi was using. So it's important that it be kind of not immediately obvious that it's the same thing as friends with benefits. And I ended up choosing booty call for that situation, so that it would have the same kind of nuance, but also still be a little bit more obscure or ambiguous. And then Tomoki can talk with his friend later as they try to problem solve, basically.
Yeah, if there's anything you guys learned, fuck buddy is fuck buddy. There you go. Use that information as you will.
Yeah. however it like fits your needs. Yeah, and I see Jersey D saying you're surprised it's not Sefure. The thing with this is that Naozumi is half American, so he uses a lot of gratuitous English in his lines. So that's, I think, probably why it ends up being what it is in the scene. Okay, so these next few examples are all from fanboy summoning, shafted by an otherworldly beast, which is very fun. Basically, a BL fanboy of Fudanshi gets summoned to a world full of like gods and monsters of Chinese mythology, and it's like full of playing with the BL genre and like its tropes and all of that stuff. So very fun, very, very long. I think it's currently at 31 chapters or 39 chapters on MangaPlaza right now if you're interested to check it out. But we had to do a lot of kind of converting Japanese fandom slang to English fandom slang for this one. So I'm going to go through a few examples of how we did that. So first, on this page, we're talking about kind of like moe, which is that feeling of just absolute overflowing emotions and joy when you see some really cute character. And we've got 2 points here, the thought bubble on the right, and then the thing on the left, the scale. So basically in the Japanese, he's saying the spring, right, of moe is literally like bursting forth, like Yellowstone. So I went with feels, and we did drought to flood to kind of get that sense of bursting forth. It's not the exact same image, but it's very similar. And then the scale on the left was very fun. So if you can see in the Japanese, it starts with moe, then it's shindoi, which literally means painful, emoi, which means very emotional, and the same kanji from Prince Turned Idol, totoi, which is that precious again. And I ended up doing cute, too cute, I'm dead, and my very own key smash. Basically to get across how overwhelmed he is by all of these moe feelings. Next one is Tu Nibyo, which you may have heard of. It comes up a lot in like slice of life animes. Basically, it's that period in middle school where you really want to learn lots of obscure knowledge and show off how smart and cool and how much of a hipster you are. And so in this particular scene, he is talking about some sort of obscure knowledge of Chinese mythology, and another character is impressed that he knows that because they wouldn't have expected a random Japanese guy to know it. And so he's like, yeah, I had a case of chunibyo, which we ended up going with know-it-all syndrome for this one. Had a bad case of that back in middle school. All right, next one is itaiko, and this one had a pun that we needed to preserve. So itaiko is kind of like trying too hard or being kind of cringe. But itai literally means pain. So when the character is realizing that he's talking to a guy who might be a little bit cringe, he's like, oh, are you an itaiko? And the guy responds, no, I'm not in pain anywhere. Doko mo itaku nai. So to preserve that pun as well as the meaning of Itaiko, the translator here ended up doing edgelord, and then what edges am I supposed to be lording over? I don't get it. Which, yeah, I unfortunately can't take personal credit for this one, but it is one of my very favorite slang localizations for sure. Wanted to show that
Yeah,
off
this
for you.
localization is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, one last one from this title. So in this scene, he's kind of talking about a lot of like trope hashtags and stuff and things he's experienced. He's adding new things to the list, much to his chagrin. And so in this one, just kind of 2 points, you might notice the hashtags on the Japanese, there's more of them than there are on the English. And that's because we had to combine two. So this one here, the second from the top, shokan, and then underneath it, isekai, are kind of treated as separate tropes in Japanese. But in English-speaking fandom, they're usually just kind of put together. Like shokan is summoning, isekai is isekai. So we combine them into one tag, summoned to another world. And then also fourth from the bottom, Ike literally means like variant form or just like strange shape. But it's often used for like monster human ships. So rather than doing a literal translation to kind of get across the actual meaning, we went with the more common English fandom term, monster fucking. Yeah, with a little bleep out, just in case. Yeah. And the last point for localization is the titles. So obviously the publisher and author have the final say on their titles. And sometimes like just using the direct thing from the Japanese works perfectly fine, like Cinderella Complex, literally just Cinderella Complex in Japanese. But sometimes we need to twist things up a bit to make them sound a little more natural and a little more catchy. And we'll always give our suggestions to the publisher before they make their final decision. So in this case, the literal translation is, literally it's Ore no koibito no hanbun wa junjo de dekiteru. My lover is half made of innocence, which works okay, but lover is a little bit old-fashioned, and this title doesn't quite get across the kind of, cute, zany vibe of the story. So we ended up tweaking it a bit. We changed lover for boyfriend, and then went with the phrase too pure for his own good, because his shyness is kind of getting in the way of his sex life. Yeah, and that was our localization.
Yes, and now on to new and upcoming releases. I saw some comments before where people getting excited about a certain manga, but first let me say Romantic Elegy, A Marriage of Kings, and The Stray Cats Cheat are all new titles, and You Are My Omega has a new continuation, and Polaris at Dawn will finally release the next chapter installments later in March. Yay!
I know some folks have been waiting.
Yes, I know you guys have been waiting a long time, so finally they're here. And The Seduction of the Deep Sleeper has a paperback release, and I worked on this title, so yay! You can get it at any US Kinokuniya, and you can also order from the site. They ship to US, Canada, and Mexico. Sorry for any international friends. If you guys have friends that live in the US, Canada, Mexico, they can send it to you, or you can just read the digital release from our site. So yeah, I'm also very happy about the paperback release. It looks so nice. Yeah, please buy it if you can. But yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the end of our panel. So, we didn't actually say this at the beginning. We have a gift code all for attending the panel. Sorry, I meant to shout that out quickly at the beginning, but that's okay. So that's on the right of the screen here. I'll drop it in the chat as well, and then in the thread on Discord later. And you can enter that to get 500 points on our website. We also have a bunch of anniversary sales going on. We have a hashtag sweepstakes and like coupons and stuff. So on our site, look for this 4th anniversary banner for a page that will list all of our different anniversary sales. And then we do have a 50% off coupon on all of the titles from our panel right now, so you can use that on one of the items to get started on reading. And oh, don't forget to check out our goodie bag as well in the con Discord. It's a separate gift code for 100 points, and you can stack those up, get total 600. And yeah, so happy unlocking.
Yes.
We're going to have a little bit of time for Q&A now, so feel free to drop any questions, and I will get this code into the chat.
We have 3 so far.
Yes. First question is, I was excited to see The Seduction of the Deep Sleeper come out in print. Does MangaPlaza intend to release more prints going forward? How do you choose what to print?
That is a good question. How do we decide? Because I feel like that's like the higher ups kind of, they decide that.
Yeah, so that's kind of, above our heads as the translation team.
Yeah.
At the moment, all of our print releases, so we have Seduction of the Deep Sleeper, as well as 2 of our adult romance titles, I believe, have a print release. And those are all titles that are MangaPlaza originals. So they were published by our company's in-house publishing section, and then translated by us for MangaPlaza, and then decided to do a print release. So for now, we're only looking at publishing things that are MangaPlaza originals in print. And as far as what gets published or if we'll have another round of those, it's probably some sort of complicated calculus of the sales team. But definitely knowing that there is demand does help. So if there's anything you would very much like to see in print, especially the MangaPlaza Originals titles, do let us know, and we will pass that along, and we will say, pretty please, can we get this printed?
Oh, big, look at all the people that want to read it, please.
Yes.
So you guys wanting it definitely helps us like be able to get paperback releases. So yeah.
Let's see. Janny asks, is it easier to release long series digitally versus print? Does that make it less risky?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely more expensive to release in print. You have to pay for the actual physical books and everything. So yeah, it might be easier to convince companies to localize a longer series digitally first, and then they might be more inclined to release print if it sells well digitally. And yeah, again, that's the complicated salesman calculus.
Okay. Let's see. Will you pick up Danmei or Bahei titles, Chinese or Korean titles in the future?
At the moment, we're still focused on bringing Japanese titles. But never say never. The Chinese and Korean markets certainly are booming, so in the future, perhaps it's a possibility.
All right. Do you only translate for MangaPlaza, or do you do it for other companies as well?
Oh, I mean, we work for MangaPlaza, so yeah, we only, if that's what you meant, like, yeah, we only translate for MangaPlaza.
Okay.
Yeah, so we work in-house for MangaPlaza.
How does one join the industry or your team? I'm looking for a friend.
Well, there's a lot of ways to join the industry. Our team specifically, you'll need to live in Japan. Our company only hires people locally. But if you are interested, feel free to DM us and we'll pass along the interest.
But basically, like, yeah, high Japanese level, also high English level, of course. Like, I know people will probably laugh, but like, yeah, you need to also have a good grasp of both languages for writing good literary work. And yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Good attitude.
Also a good attitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, a bit of English skill and like creative writing skill comes in really handy with this kind of stuff.
A few people asked about how to contact the licensing department to like give suggestions and stuff.
That as well, you can drop that in the inquiry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The inquiry page, or if you tag us on Twitter, I do pass that along to the licensing team.
Any idea if there's a consideration of an app interface in the future? There is such a market for mobile reading that the browser is still difficult.
Yes, yeah, we've gotten similar feedback in the past as well, and we're continuing to consider it as an option. If an app does come out, we'll certainly let everyone know on our socials.
Nice.
We also have been asking our higher ups, so hopefully we can get something pushed through with that as well.
Fingers crossed. How do you balance keeping the spirit of the Japanese text that's heavy on Japanese culture when translating to English?
Ooh, yeah. Sometimes it depends. If it's really, really heavy, we have to put in a translator's note. Sometimes we get titles where it's like, I named my baby after you using this kanji. So I'm like, well, I kind of can't really localize that. I have to like let the reader know, like, by the way, this is what they're saying. So yeah, there's cases like that. In other cases, if it's like where it's I can't translate this because like no one will understand it, we'll like use a equivalent like as best to close as we can get like with the translation.
Is there ever severe pushback on your translations? Do you go in knowing that some phrases will need to have a few options for the publisher or author to choose from?
We do get pushback on our title suggestions sometimes.
Yeah.
So then we'll, kind of negotiate. Well, not really negotiate, because again, it is the publisher's call on the title ultimately. But if there's pushback, we'll say, okay, well, here's a different suggestion that takes into account your feedback. As far as translations like within the text, we don't have much pushback on that. Most of the time, our publishers and authors kind of just trust us with that, and they don't check every page. So we have a bit of, I don't want to say leeway, but like, yeah, we're given the initiative there.
Basically, they trust you.
Yeah,
they trust us.
Awesome. Well, that is unfortunately our time. Thank you so much for your time with us.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Loved having you. Would love to be here.
Yay!
So,
we would love to come again.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yay! Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.